Hello friends, today we will learn the summary of the lesson The New Blue Dress taken from Unit 1, Reading C of the 7th Standard English textbook SSC Board Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The New Blue Dress. Here in the title we get to know that there is something new and that is the dress and that is blue in color. Let's see what it is all about. Quickly get into the session now. When spring came to the season of Cleveland in 1909, it did not change Gates Avenue. So here, spring season. Spring is a season after the autumn season wherein new flowers, new leaves come on to the trees. That is called the spring season. Yeah. Generally, in the foreign countries or in India too, we have the winter break. After winter break, we have the spring season. Yeah. So generally, it is a phenomena that during winter we always remain indoors. So we don't have much touch with the outside world. And when it is spring season, as we are locked inside our houses for a long time, as the spring arrives, generally people get refreshed. They just come out with new dresses, a new way of living, some new habits, and they try to make their life fresh enough. This is the general habit. Okay, here in this place, that is Gates Avenue, this is a street in Cleveland in 1909. The spring came as usual, but in the street of Gates Avenue there was not much change, whereas other people, they all change their way of living. They start gardening, they start wearing new dress, something to make their life happy, because they are waiting for this spring for a long time during the autumn season. Okay, but here there was no change at all. Why? People who lived on the pretty streets near Gates Avenue were making gardens and painting their houses, whereas the other people other than Gates Avenue, they were all painting their houses, making their gardens. Making their gardens means making the fences, repairing the fences, sowing some seeds, tilling the ground, making the ground fit for gardening. All those things they were doing, but these people were as they were before. Okay, but Gates Avenue continued to look dirty and ugly. Here, Gates Avenue was not at all clean. Dirty means unclean, and ugly. Ugly means not good to look at. The appearance was also not good at all. Okay, what happened? Why is it so? The Gates Avenue was a short street, but it seemed longer because it was so ugly. Now here, this Gates Avenue was a small street only, but as it was very, very ugly, it seemed to be very long. Okay, most of the families who lived there had very little money. Very little money means they were poor, they were not rich enough. Okay, so this may be one of the reasons why they did not refresh themselves. Okay, they never expected to have any more. Now look, they were poor, right? And another thing, they did not have any aspiration or ambition to come out of that poverty also. So you can call them to be very lazy people who did not have any hope. They were the way they were. Okay, so they did not bring any change in themselves during the spring season also. It was as dirty as it was before, as ugly as it was before the spring season. Okay, let us see what happened then. Their houses had not been painted for many years and they did not even have running water. And this Gates Avenue, all the houses were old, no paintings at all. Okay, for many years they were not painted. They were all looking very old, and there was no running water, means they did not have water supply in their street. Okay, and the street itself was ugly too. Yeah, it was looking very dirty. It was looking very awkward. Okay, there was no pavement, there was no street light, and the railroad at the end of Gates Avenue added noise and dirt. Here there was no pavement. Pavement means on either side of the road we see the footpath for the pedestrians to walk. That is called the pavement. Okay, here in this road there was no pavement at all, no street light at all, and on top of this there is one more trouble. There is a railroad over there, and whenever the trains trains go, whenever the trains come, they make a lot of noise as well as release a lot of dirt over there. So Gates Avenue became dirtier with the railroad beside it. Okay, let us see what happened. The other girls in the school near Gates Avenue wore new and pretty clothes that spring. That spring season, the other girls who came from the other streets near the Gates Avenue, those all girls wore good dresses. Yeah, pretty clothes and new clothes they all wore as the school reopened now. But the little girl from Gates Avenue still wore the dirty dress that she had worn all winter. A girl who came from Gates Avenue, she was wearing the same dirty dress which she wore all throughout the winter season. Yeah, here W-O-R-E, wore is the past tense of wear, wore, worn, W-O-R-N, worn. Okay, so this girl was wearing the same dress. Okay, probably that was the only dress she owned. Probably means maybe that is the only dress she has, that is why she was wearing the same dress, maybe. Yeah, then what happened? Her teacher was unhappy. Now all the children are wearing new dress, pretty dresses, but this girl is wearing a dirty dress. Can the teacher be happy? So the teacher was unhappy. Okay, the little girl was so nice. That girl was very good. Only her dress was dirty and her face was dirty. Apart from that, she was a very good girl, nice girl. Her character was very good. Her behavior was very good. Okay, she always worked hard in school. She was not a lazy girl. She was a hard working girl. She was always friendly and polite. She used to mingle with everyone quickly and she used to get along with all the friends. Very friendly in nature and polite. Polite means she had good manners, good behavior. Okay, so she was very polite with everyone. So the teacher liked the girl as a person, but her appearance, her face and her dress were dirty. Her face was dirty and her hair was untidy. Her face was very dirty and maybe she did not wash her face, and her hair was also shabby here and there. She had not combed her hair. But anyone could see that she was pretty under the dirt. But that girl was very pretty girl. Yeah, but only the drawback here is she was dirty. She was not clean. Okay, so what did the teacher do? One day the teacher said, "Won't you wash your face before you come to school tomorrow morning? Please do that, just for me." So the teacher took the efforts and she requested the girl, "Please, could you please wash your face and come tomorrow? Because I know you are a good girl. Okay, please do that just for your teacher. Just for me, you do that," the teacher said to the girl. The next morning, the child's pretty face was clean and her hair tidy. So the girl obeyed the teacher's words. She she washed her face and she wore a good plait. Okay, when you comb the hair and you put the two pigtails, those are called the plaits, plaiting the hair. Her hair was very tidy, neatly combed. Okay, before the little girl went home that afternoon, the teacher said, "Now, dear, please ask your mother to wash your dress." So the teacher was happy to see the girl so obedient, and now the teacher put the second step and she said that the girl ought to request her mother to wash the dress the next day, and she is actually requesting the girl to wear the clean dress the next day. Let's see what happened the next day. But the girl continued to wear the same dirty dress. What is this? And the teacher told to wash her face, she washed it. Comb her hair, she combed it. But when the teacher told her to ask her mother to wash the dress, it did not happen. The girl did not wear a clean dress. She wore the same dirty dress. Her mother is probably not interested in her. Probably means maybe, possibly. Okay, so the teacher understood. Maybe the girl's mother is not interested in washing the clothes of the girl. That is why the girl wore the same dirty dress. The teacher thought, So she bought a bright blue dress and gave it to the girl. So the teacher took the third step. She bought. Bought is the past tense of buy. B-U-Y, buy, bought, bought. So the teacher bought a bright blue dress and she gave it as a gift to the girl. The child took the gift eagerly and rushed home. So generally when we get a gift, we are really very happy. The same way the girl was also very happy. She took the gift and she rushed. Rushed means ran home very, very happily. Okay, let's see what happened next. The next morning she came to school in the new blue dress. Yeah, so today she wore the new dress and came to school. And she was very clean and tidy. She was very neat and tidy. She told her teacher, "My mother couldn't believe her eyes when she saw me this morning in my new dress. My father wasn't at home, but he'll see me at supper tonight." She was full of excitement. So the girl was telling, my mother really could not believe her eyes. Means she could not believe herself when she saw me so neat and tidy, so pretty in this new dress. My father was not there in the morning. Maybe he had gone to his workplace, but in the night when he comes for supper, that time he would see and he would also be really happy. That's what the child wanted to tell to the teacher. Excitement means she was full of a thrilling moment. What next? What next? That happiness. Generally, when we are going for a picnic, we are excited. What next? What next? The same excitement this girl also had. When her father saw her in the new blue dress, he was amazed to find that he had a very pretty little girl. Amazed means surprised. Yeah, so he was very much surprised, astonished to see that he had such a nice girl. Okay, when the family ate supper, supper is a night meal. When the family ate supper, he was even more amazed to see a cloth on the kitchen table. That is, they used to have meals on the dining table, but on the dining table there was never a tablecloth. Today he could see a tablecloth on the table, so he was even more surprised. First surprise is the girl with the new dress looking very pretty. Yeah, his daughter looking very pretty. The second surprise is there is a tablecloth on the kitchen table. So he was very surprised. And then the family had never used a tablecloth before. "We are going to begin to be tidier here," his wife said. "I'm ashamed to be dirty when our daughter is so clean." So what the wife said is that they had decided to be tidier. Tidier is a comparative degree. Okay, tidy, tidier, tidiest. Okay, so they have decided to be tidier, neater than before, cleaner than before. And she said she was ashamed, she was feeling shy, or she did not want the same thing to happen as dirty they were. I am ashamed means I am feeling ashamed. It is very shameful on our part to be dirty when our daughter is so clean. So I have decided to be clean now onwards, the mother said, the mother of the girl said. After supper, the mother began to wash the kitchen floor. Another new thing is happening here. The mother started washing the kitchen floor. Okay, her husband watched silently for several moments. The girl's father was observing all these things. First thing, girl is tidy. Second thing, there is a cloth on the table, and now the girl's mother is washing the floor. Okay, so he was observing, and what did he do? Then he went outside and began to repair the fence. So what her father did is he started repairing the fence. All the fence means you make a compound wall with bricks. You make a fence with sticks like a border for our garden we make, isn't it? That is called the fence. He started repairing the fence, making it all right. Okay. The next evening, with the family's help, he began to make a garden. Now in the night he had repaired the fence, and the next day he engaged all of them in making the garden. The whole family went to the garden and they all started making the garden, sowing the seeds, tilling the ground and all the same. So during the following week, following means next week, during the following week, the man in the next house watched what his neighbor was doing. So beside this girl's house there lived a man, and he he was watching what all were happening in the girl's house. And by the end of the week, the man began to paint his house for the first time in 10 years. So looking at them, he too got inspired. He too felt how good it will be. I too am clean. How good it will be, he thought. And he too started cleaning his house and painting his house. That too after 10 long years, now he is painting his house. A few days later, the young minister of a church near Gates Avenue passed these two houses and saw two men working. So after some days, a minister from the church, minister in the sense a person who is in the church who takes care of the ministry, takes care of the preachings in the church. It's called the minister of a church. So he passed through that Gates Avenue, and when he passed through this street, he found a great change. What is that? When he passed through these two houses, he saw two men working. Who is that? Who are they? The girl's father and their neighbor. They both are working. For the first time, he noticed that there was no pavement on Gates Avenue and no street light and no running water. When he looked at these men working, that is one making the garden and one painting his house, then he was analyzing what's there. This is very new to me. And when he analyzed, he came to know that for the first time he observed that there was no pavement in Gates Avenue and no street light and no running water. He could observe it for the first time only now. People who are trying so hard to make decent homes here deserve help. Then he thought to himself, what? That these people are working very hard to keep their streets so clean, to keep their house very clean. I have to help them out. They deserve help. I need to help them out. They really deserve to be helped, he thought. He asked some important citizens in the city to help them. So in order to help them, he needed some funds, maybe some help from the higher authorities. So he made all the arrangements. He got the help from some important people in the city and tried to help them. A few months later, because of the young minister, there was a pavement on Gates Avenue, and ultimately and finally he made arrangements for the pavement in the Gates Avenue. There was a street light on the corner. On one corner he fixed a street light, and the houses had running water. He arranged the water supply for Gates Avenue. 6 months after the little girl got her new blue dress, Gates Avenue had become a tidy street where respectable citizens lived. That means after 6 months, within a span of 6 months, the Gates Avenue transformed completely, changed completely from an ugly street, from a dirty street. It changed into a clean street, and it became a place where respectable citizens lived. It became a tidy street. And where did all this begin from? Yes, it all started from the new blue dress which the teacher had gifted to the girl. So the things may be small enough, but the inspiration that they bring may make great changes. Let's see what change the new blue dress had brought. Not only making Gates Avenue a tidy street, what more change did it bring? When people in other places heard the story of Gates Avenue, they began to organize their own cleanup campaigns. Since 1913, more than 7,000 towns and cities have organized campaigns for painting and repairing homes and making better lives for the people who live in them. From then on, when the people heard about Gates Avenue, they also started organizing cleanup campaigns, awareness programs, and they started cleaning. And then more than 7,000 towns and cities, they organized cleanup campaigns, and they started working for themselves. They started painting and repairing homes and helped people to make their lives better. Who knows what will happen when a teacher gives a little girl a new blue dress? Did the teacher ever think that this much bigger change it's going to bring? Maybe not, but she did a small thing with a great heart, and that could bring a great change. So we may not be able to do great things, But let's do small things with a good heart. This will definitely bring great changes, great developments in our country, in our society, and the whole world. Thank you, children. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day ahead. Please subscribe our channel and encourage our efforts. Click the like button and leave your opinion in the comment section. I'll be glad to read them. Thank you once again.